but it looks like we're live, so that's a good thing. With that being said,
Yes.
welcome to the inner room with Out of My Damn Mind. This is a space where walls fall away, where stories don't just get told, they land. Messy, real, and alive. Here, writers open the door to what drives them, what haunts them, and what keeps them going. Every voice has its own rhythms, its own scars, its own sparks, and together we trace the threads that hold us, break us, and connect us all. It is always very special for me to have a returning co-host, and I am super, super thankful that Zoe, you have agreed to come back again. So thank you for joining me today.
I thank you so much for having me again. I've been enjoying our last conversation. I think it was in October. Yeah, we just researched it was October. Um, because what made it so special for me that you're really offering such a safe space. It
Mhm.
really is a safe space to connect, to speak, to um, that energy just grow and we share something very special. I love your interviews. I've been watching them on YouTube, as you saw, probably, and I can only like really suggest that to people to really follow you also on YouTube and watch the interviews, because every conversation I saw is special. You
Mm.
do have a gift, I think, that you make people open up, and I love that. Thank you.
So you're a doll. So for anybody who has joined us, welcome in. Both me and Zoe have YouTube channels. The Inner Room with Out of My Damn Mind can be found. Zoe, what is the title of your YouTube? Is it just your name?
Yeah, that's just Zoe Masa. That is
Well,
my YouTube channel where I'm
which
sharing videos, like music videos, and also my insights of an artist where I'm speaking about creativity.
Well, I was like, it's a great creative space for anybody who is more curious about a lot of things outside of just writing, right? So I think you offer a full spectrum of creative outlets, and we'll get all into that. I really appreciate you saying that because I don't think you guys understand how important these conversations are to me. I am a single human being. I don't have any friends at this moment. I am going to be 37 years old and I have my dog. So, an opportunity to sit across from any other human for an hour and have a conversation is really special to me because it's not something that I get often. So, I love that you said that they're all different too. I think that's the point is that I try to connect with as many different types of people on Substack to highlight the amazing amount of humans that are here and all the different shapes and sizes they come in. So I really do appreciate that. With that being said, October 21st was our last conversation. So it's been over 6 months. What feels different about the version of you sitting here today compared to the version of you from our last conversation?
Well, there is a huge difference for me because at the end of last year in autumn, looking towards winter, and I have to say I am not a winter person at all. Like every year, I like really buckle up because I know it's going to be dark, it's going to be cold. It's more about the absence of light for me, and I'm someone that's been facing depression since I was 11 years old, and those phases always get worse in the wintertime. So I was like there, and I knew everything. I had a full year with a lot of live concerts behind me, and I had this project on my mind, and that was to write a book about this creative journey I am on. And so I thought about this, and I started, and in the last 6 months I did write this book. I published the book. I made just finished recording the ebook version of this book. The print edition is, I'm going to give it a go next week. I signed up for a whole big tour around Europe with three other amazing female reggae artists this year. And I've been releasing music, made videos. It's so much change because this was like me going into the kind of introspective time, and um, transforming all the things that I had on my mind, writing it down, editing myself to the point that I always like lost it because I was just working so much. But I needed this rhythm to go through this dark and very cold winter month with a lot of snow and all those challenges. That is really challenging for me. So I had this project that kept me kind of going. Right now we're in the middle of spring, summer is around the corner. I accomplished so much, and I am ready to go. I feel like, okay, tour is coming up. I'm looking forward to a wonderful festival season. So I'm really here feeling powerful and very, not only powerful myself, but also empowered by my surrounding because it supports me. When I get up, I'm an early bird. I get up about like, well, in the winter it was like 4:30 when I started writing.
Wow.
Now it's about 5:30 that I start, writing and stuff, but it's already light. It's already day. The whole time when I was writing on the book, it was dark, like darkness,
So it did
dark,
not show yet.
until
Yes.
forever. So I really feel I am myself, but in like the more summer version of myself that is somehow more outgoing. Even though what I noticed that stayed the same, I kept something from my last season where I've been like so much with myself. Um, I am not so very outgoing. I really like to keep my energy for me and just share it with some special people. I don't want to go to a club. I don't want to go to a restaurant. I have the feeling I'm not done yet, and to not just waste my energies and random things just to party or stuff. Um, I really stay by myself a lot. Maybe I'm becoming this kind of person. I'm gonna end up being someone with like, like 3 dogs, 5 cats, just going for walks, and oh yeah, I think it's gonna happen.
I mean, if that's what you want for yourself, I'm sure that's what you'll have for yourself. But I think you said so much in that opening that I'm trying to like one, where could people find your ebook?
This is great. Okay, the ebook is on my website. This is zoemasa.com.
Okay.
There you can download the ebook. I'm so excited about the audiobook that we're just finishing now. Just now is the editing, and then I'm going to upload it there. I don't want to publish it through my usual channels like Spotify and Amazon stuff because I want to be very clear about this for artists is we don't get paid, right? A Spotify stream is 0.003 cent per stream. So if I am putting my work out there, I'm not going to get anything there. And it has, it's like it's big. I have I have a printed copy. This is not how it's going to look like when it's all done, but you see how thick it is. It's
Yeah.
like a lot, This is the title is Understand, Overstand, Understand, and it's a creative workbook journal for basically for everybody. And what I did was mm, I thought about the creative process itself, and I kind of cut it into phases, and I found an archetype for each phase of the creative process in general. So
Mm.
we have like the first phase where you are the daydreamer, where you like inspiration just flows and you're collecting ideas, and then you have the next phase that is the soul rebel phase when you have your idea and you're good to go. You have it. You whatever you actually want to do, if it's writing a book or an essay or you want to paint your kitchen, whatever it is, right? You
Yeah.
always go through phases because everything is a creative process. Then you have the next phase is like the transformative phase. I call this the spiritual alchemist, where you like really deep into your zone and everything that you had on your mind is coming out. Then you would move to the warrior heart phase. This is like the finishing process. This is the moment when you need some discipline to get things done. Imagine that was you painting your kitchen. So this would be you, like you're tired, you don't want it anymore, and you still have to paint the rest, and then you have to clean up. Um, so you need some discipline for this part, and then you would have as the last, that would be the afterglow. I call it afterglow. This is when your project is done. When you release something, if that is your essay that you're releasing here on Substack, and you press publish,
Right.
and then after you just there, you wait in a way, you know. But
Yeah.
you release something that was close to your heart, and you wait. If I'm releasing music, that's like so much. Sometimes I've been working for a year or even longer on one album, and then it's just like it's out there, worldwide access, and I have nothing else to do but wait to see like if the people like it. Um, if I'm going to be invited for interviews, whatever, it's different because when we play live, you have an instant reaction. If you're releasing music, you know,
I could definitely see how that would be harder than just being like at a live
yeah,
festival and people are feeling that your music with you in that moment. So it may actually add to your energy, but it could definitely be a lot of mind fuckery, if you don't mind me
yes,
saying, when you put your art out there and you're like, "Oh, this is quiet compared to what I'm used to when it's live." So, yeah, that would
yeah,
probably challenge me a lot mentally. I mean, publishing anything for myself now is gymnastics in my brain. But if I ever had the experience where I had the opportunity to speak live and I got instant gratification that we like, that we enjoy as humans, of or that validation where I could tell, I could see, I could feel that people are feeling the song with me. I think that would definitely add to my happiness that I'm able to share my art. But when you're just kind of sitting waiting on the other side of a phone or a computer or whatever and just waiting for feedback, that definitely could mess with somebody. So
yes. And it's also like you've been focused and you're working on something for a long time, and it has been time consuming. And once it's done, okay, what you're gonna do, right? You've been used to like getting up, getting yourself ready. Maybe you even didn't want to, but you prepared the voice, ready to the studio, or you start writing and finishing a song. All those things. So the afterglow is a super um, special part of the whole book. And in all the chapters, you would have an introduction of the face, a short one and a long one. I've been creating visuals for every chapter as well that I did all by myself. It's no AI, nothing.
I love that.
And you have like chapters that in every chapter is like an insight of an artist. That would be my experience about a certain stage and what I do that helped me to process. And then you have word exercises, journal prompts, little things that people can do to really grow and deepen their connection to their creativity. And what I really mean and feel is so important to realize that most of the things we do or deal with really is a creative process. Like you like thinking about your hair, like when we started our conversation, we have a thing like you with the short hair, me growing a thing. It's a process, but it's also something that you think about. You put yourself together. It's a process. Maybe you have a picture or an image of yourself on your mind,
Yeah.
and then you're dreaming yourself into this and feel like, oh, if I would be this, I might feel like a certain way. And then you get yourself to do it because you have the idea, so you follow the idea. Then your transport, your spiritual alchemist phase, you're in the zone, would be you sitting there at the barber and getting your hair shaved nicely and a nice clean fade, which I actually think is super cool. I love that.
Yeah, my barber is pretty good. I am
Yeah.
very grateful to have met him when I did, and I've been back in New York for almost 5 years now. So he's been with me for at least four and a half of them. So, uh,
Wow.
yeah, I'm very dedicated to my person. I love that also. Parallel that you're using like everyday situations of that makes it easier for people to kind of understand the process of what you've provided in a workbook. You said it's going to be an audiobook, so it made me wonder, it's your voice or is it?
Yes, it's my voice, and it's so funny because I'm on my YouTube channel. I'm doing this series. It's called Insights of an Artist, where I'm speaking about basically everything that I think we could talk about behind music, behind what it means to live a creative life, because this is what I'm doing. And actually, I started not only because I wanted to speak about the process behind my last album, but also because it kind of upset me. Sometimes you're like, oh, so sing something, or you just like write something. And art and especially music became something we consume just so easily, and people have no understanding about how much an artist goes through life to be able to write songs, to sing them, to perform them, or paint, or write a book, or even an essay, writing poetry, all those things. You have to live a life for that. if you're not living, nothing is going to happen. You're not going to be able to share anything because there's nothing going on, right? Um, and even you could write about you not doing anything the moment you're aware, but then even reaching this point of awareness, this is work, this is part of work. So I started to speaking about this in Insights of an Artist, and so many people said, oh Zoe, we love to listen to you, whatever, it's so soothing. And I know what people do, they just have their computers on, so they press play, and they also consume because they have me just talking to them. So I thought for the audiobook, all right, I'm gonna give it a try. And I was sitting down, I was reading all my, like, whatever, it's like 57 pages or something. So I was reading them, and the whole situation, I can tell you, it's so bizarre because I'm used to be in a studio and sing, right? But
Yeah.
once you're there and you're just reading, you have to focus in such a crazy way. And it was difficult for me because some of the passages I really know by heart because I thought about them so deeply and I feel them deeply. So I really had to concentrate of reading correctly. And then also you don't want to be too fast because nobody can follow you when you're just like, so you
Right.
have to find a rhythm. And I didn't want to sound completely like pathetic,
Or
speaking la,
robotic.
la, la. Yeah, just or monotone. So I really had to find a way. This was intense work. I did this the whole last week. Shout out to my brother Roberto Ingram that did that with me, and he's been so patient. I mean, like, oh no, I have to start again. I don't like it this way. But yeah, the audiobook, I think it's beautiful because even while I'm reading and I'm listening back to what I did, I felt is something I would listen to myself. When I'm doing something and I like audiobooks. I like podcasts and stuff. So it's interesting to follow through, and the chapters are well structured, and I'm very satisfied about this. And yeah, I'm excited to share it. I even have some feedback that people began to work with it. Like the way I was hoping to do, that the way that I was hoping people would have it, read it, and um, try to integrate this in their lives. And the best one is not an artist. He's just it's just someone that has a lot of interest for arts and different things, and he
Right.
wanted to read it, and he's been kind of giving me reports on how he feels during the process and how he sees his daily life with different eyes right now. And yeah, I totally love it.
Oh, I love your energy about all of this. I love everything you said, but I want to take a second real quick to just welcome Tails May, Chief Absurdity or Officer Libra, anybody that may be
I see
in
a
this
friend.
room.
Hi, Yvonne. I see you there.
So I just wanted to say hello, and we're just kind of getting started, and I feel like we've already like gone down a whole vortex. There's so much that you say that I'm like, ooh, ooh, oh, wait, because I've on some of my posts, I have done audio recordings, and the amount of times that I have redone them before I actually publish it was quite unique. And it is very interesting to try to find the rhythm that makes sense. So I have so much respect for anybody like on radio or that does audio like voiceovers for whatever. Like it is definitely its own mind fuckery of how am I gonna put this so it could be felt. But I think it's really unique when somebody gets to read their own work because it allows your reader to really feel what you were trying to express in what you're sharing. So I love all of this for you. So the book can be found on your website,
On my
ebook.
website, zoemaster.com. Yes. And the audiobook is coming. I'm gonna tell everybody everything about it because I'm really excited about it. And yeah, and the print edition is coming. This is for me is this the most special because I just love having a physical um, proof of
Yeah.
my art. It's the same when I am releasing music. It's beautiful to make a vinyl. It's beautiful to even still have a CD, even though I don't produce CDs anymore because of the plastic.
Yeah.
I don't like it, and nobody's using CD players anyways. But once in a while, I make a vinyl, and I just love it. It feels so different because if your work is only in the digital world,
Yeah.
it
I
feels like it doesn't even exist.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like something physical. I mean, even a good book, like I could just
Yes.
download on my phone, but I mean, having the actual book, being able to feel the book, being able to write in pages or fold it, or like, it is something that I feel like I don't want to say validates the situation, but it does feel more real when you can touch something. And I think vinyls will never go out of date. I think those like records are amazing, and I think it's really and even musicians that are on regular radio here in the states, they all go vinyl sometimes. Like The Weeknd has multiple vinyls, and I'm just like
Yes.
and he's like, no, people like this stuff, and I'd rather make it on this, than a CD. To your point, because of a lot of reasons, but
Yeah,
um,
and you have something, and it's something, even in moments of doubts, and I have plenty of those. That even I know I'm doing a lot, but sometimes I don't feel I'm doing a lot. So if I have a physical proof, it helps. I can look at my vinyl collection and say, all right, so you did that. That's kind of cool, and I can hold like my book in my hand, and I can give it to my dad, say, look, dad, this is my book. And those kind of things, those moments are important because I think most creatives know that the doubt is a well-known companion, I would say, to many of
mm,
us.
mm.
And I have my doubts and fears, and sometimes I would call my friend and be like, you know what, I think I'm going to retire, and I just saw they need someone in the bakery. I could do that because I'm getting up early anyways, so I think I should do that. And she's like, oh yeah, all right, Zoe, that's one of those kind of moments. But I have those, or I'm doubting if
Intrusive
any of
thoughts
the
sometimes
music that
win.
I ever released makes any sense at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that makes you human. Beautifully broken. Thank you for making it. We appreciate that you're here. But yeah, I think intrusive thoughts sometimes get the best of us. And I think sometimes the job of our mind is to always make us second guess ourselves. And I think that's why it's important to really be able to feel and follow what you feel called to do. And that's what most people would say, like your intuition. I think sometimes our mind likes to have this like chess match to make us not trust our intuition and ourselves and our gut feelings of what we should be doing. And I think it's a harder war than people want to kind of put out there. But when you're a creative being and you're trying your best to connect with others and in the ways that you appreciate most and the arts that you share, it definitely can be hard. I think if I'm going to be vulnerable and transparent like I usually am, I think I've stepped away from Substack because of that, because of me feeling like I wasn't like I have expectations of where I want things to be, and then when it doesn't get that acknowledgement or instant exposure or anything like that, it just kind of feels deflating, and it shouldn't take away from what successes it has. It's just it's a battle, right? So I think when I noticed that it was affecting the way that I viewed myself and how I was trying to measure myself and stuff, I think that's when I was like, oh, I need to take a couple of steps back from any type of social media situation. So people may or may not have noticed that I haven't really been on Substack. So that's why I am very grateful to be here today with you, because it's like kind of not like a return or anything, but it's like it's hard sometimes to show face it in front of people and to show up and do certain things when you're not feeling great, you know?
I think the most important thing is, in general, you have to show up for yourself first.
Yeah.
And if this means you are not on any form of social media, and we have to be honest, also Substack is in a way a form of social media. It might not be showing up with pretty pictures, but we still here, and it still demands, and it still has an algorithm that pushes your content or not, and all those kind of things. And I think if we show up for ourselves and we're really taking the personal healing journey serious, it's so very okay to not be here. I wasn't writing or publishing on Substack the whole last weeks. I was just super busy with music
Yeah.
and everything I did around music. And I've been writing, but I didn't feel like I want to share this in the moment. And I did not feel, or the way I feel about Substack, it's not something where I want to be like, my morning is like this and that. No, because you know that this, if I
That's
want to
what
do that,
Facebook is for.
exactly, or all the other things. And
Yeah.
I, for me, like being consistently as a professional artist, as a musician, this is Instagram for me, which I, you know, this is a platform I service, but also it's part of my work. And even there, I am completely allowing myself to take breaks because I don't care if that people like don't want to watch my content. Okay, that's it. I trust that those that love me as an artist or feel my music, they do have their times too, and they can wait. And I want to tell you a nice story because it happened to me recently, and uh, I uploaded something on YouTube, and I had a link there, and the link was hacked, and it was leading to some really super weird Indonesian gaming platform. I would have never noticed this because I was just uploading the link. I thought it was correct. And then there have been people out of my community, those are listening to my music and you know all those things, writing me say, "Hey Zoe, like really loved your video. We just want to let you know that the link is leading to this really bizarre whatever. We know this is not you.
Right.
Why don't you go and double check?" And those kind of moments are the moments that I feel okay, it's not what we all say with so much sarcasm all the time of social media that is just like not real. No, it's real because there's you behind this Substack post. There is me on the other side. There is a next person who's liking my vibes in general, who reports to me that it would lead to some weird whatever way, you
Right.
know? So you said before that you don't have like a lot of friends in the moment, and you know like in a personal life is not like super connected with a lot of people, but the people are actually here, you know. If we would live closer, we probably meet up once a month, you know, for a talk, walking your dog together, which I do here with a lovely friend of mine that I'm mostly meeting like almost every morning. I just meet her accidentally because she's walking her dog and I'm walking myself, you know. So those are the moments where we meet. So if you would be here somewhere around, I would probably meet you walking your dog and we just, you know, walk along and chat a little for a while. So it's actually the human connection, and it's so fair to not expose ourselves in those times when we're not so well,
Yeah.
um, because it feels like reading your diary out loud sometimes, which is cool when you're ready to face it. But then sometimes the diary, it really is what it is. It's supposed to be something you can close and you keep it
Right.
for yourself.
Right. And I think when I started Life Wakes Every Birthday was diary style reflective posts. And then I try to broaden my reflections to not just be diary style, but more of, you know, here are things that I have gone through and I have processed and I am okay with sharing because I do think that, you know, maybe the route to how I got out of it may not be the same one that somebody else takes, but maybe somebody will feel more comfortable to challenge themselves to get through it because they've read something that I, you know, or I help somebody with a perspective or something. So that's where, you know, my work kind of started to lead. And I think because of just the context of just I don't like to your point you were like I don't think that some people understand how much goes into creating an album or creating a book or how much like that creative person is putting themselves through to provide this. Like when I listen to certain songs that I listen to now that I heard when I was a teenager and I hear now, I'm like, damn, like they were saying some things and I don't think I knew back then that they were
Yeah,
saying some things now. And it's like they obviously had this lived experience that I actually had, and they articulated and communicated and put it, you know, with all of this beautiful background music, and they really shared something with that's what all the artists are doing, they're sharing. So I think I don't to your point, I don't think that people understand, like, the emotional, capacity that it takes to do that, and I think I just kind of ran out of mine. I think I was just like, "Oh, this I don't think I don't think I have enough in me at this time to keep writing this type of way about my life and allowing other people to just read it. I think it caught up to me a bit. So I had to take a couple steps back because I'm definitely not somebody that wants or needs others' approvals of just existing or sharing. I think my motto has always been I share and I hope to create safe spaces so that people know that they're not alone, even if they feel alone. So, I think for me it was just eye-opening that it wasn't aligning in the ways that maybe it felt like it was when I first started. Or maybe when I first started a year ago, I was a different version of me that was okay with still being performative. And I don't think I have that capacity anymore to just be performative and show up in a space pretending like everything's okay. Like I'm this healed version of myself when we're constantly healing, evolving and our wounds are being exposed by just everyday life. Like, you know,
Yeah,
before I
so
did
much so.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like today I had to go pick up my nephew because he wasn't feeling good from school. And I have like zero patience. And this is a thing that I am self aware about. And I'm like, I wish I could just have patience. And every day my life shows me you're not there yet. Like,
So
you're not
you're
there yet.
impatient with yourself for not being patient. You know, even there, it's the whole one thing in itself. And I think what you just said is so beautiful. And I remember clearly that you've been posting one thing when you spoke about wearing a mask and not wearing those masks again. And
Mhm.
it stayed with me for such a long time because I'm always thinking, what is the mask I am wearing? And how willing am I to really let everything down? And how necessary is it to really do, especially when I think about creating something? And what you said right now about feeling like you don't have enough in yourself to write in a certain way, this is exactly the answer I'm getting a lot when people tell me they have like a writing block. And I'm always saying the following thing: what you just said is the perfect thing to write about. This is where your real personal art begins. You
Yeah.
know, that there is nothing inside of you that you feel is worth sharing, or that you feel you can look at so close, so deep, that you can allow this space to happen. This is why we say we can't. This is why we shy away. And this is where it begins. So, as a musician, I can tell you, mm, the music helps, of course, because besides me having to open up, even if I don't have a word, I could have a melody or a chord I can follow that could help me express, right? It could be a non-verbal melody, and I could still already express. As a writer now, as a writer of lyrics, a writer of poems, writer of texts and essays, and more stuff, I think it takes so much courage to really let this mask down when there is nothing you can lean on, because behind a song I can still hide. I can't really, because a voice, even if you're professionally trained, the resonance would be different, right? If you're really feeling something, the vibes connects with other people. So this is what makes some songs is not even sang so well feel so emotional, because
Right.
you feel the energy. But so if they have only words, that's the naked truth.
Mm.
I think if you start to write from there, this is when you let one more mask down.
It's interesting because me and Mindful of It every Friday we have like tortured each other by sharing prompts with one another, and she had shared a prompt like um if you could meet a younger version of you, what part of your life would that younger version think, oh, this is actually pretty cool? and she did an amazing piece. I loved her piece that she wrote, and I told her once I read it, like I'm having a hard time with this, and it was in that process, and I still haven't written it because it's hard for me. It was in that process that I realized I, at a really young age, learned, like really young, to like put a show on, to like be quiet, to be the good one, like, be the good daughter. There was another one, like, my sister was took up a lot of space, so it was just, like, it made me so sad because it's, like, my youngest version of self that I can't even remember, she didn't even get a chance to be, and for all of those years, like, I'm gonna be 37, all of these years, I've just been participating in spaces to be liked, like, it obviously wrecks me because it's just like, "Damn, damn," Like, fuck. So when you come to that realization, it gets harder to just bear shit, just say stuff because it's just like, wow, I need a minute to like process this on my own. I need a minute to grieve this. I need a minute to
Yes.
apologize. Not that not that I'm at fault, but that nobody in my space at even a young age saw how much I was just conforming and hiding and just being so that I would be easy for somebody else. Like, that's what it was, when you're a sibling growing up and you're the older one, and me and my sister are only 19 months apart, I think at a young age I started to just resent her because of how much space she took up in my parents, and it's just like, I was so misunderstood, I was so like, I was just a very emotional child, and my mother, my father are not that way, my sister is not that way, so it was just like, oh, it's just easier for me to just stay in my room and be by myself than, be with my family. So that I didn't expect that prompt to like unlock a shit ton of decades of just pain of just, damn, I'm sorry that I didn't stand up for myself sooner. I'm sorry that I felt like I couldn't be me. And it's like at 36, I don't even know who the fuck I am. Like, and that's the process that I'm going through. So it felt wrong of me to show up still in this space performing or pretending that I know what I'm doing. I don't. Like, I know how to reflect back on things. I know how to add a perspective to something that might help somebody else see something, but it also exhausts the shit out of me. It's emotionally draining, and it's hard to like look at likes or comments or views, and I don't like any of that stuff, so I just had to take time away. And I we make these things months in advance, and I'm never going to cancel on anybody because they mean so much to me. They matter to me. So I said that I was going to keep doing these every Tuesday, but my writing right now is at a standstill because creatively I don't want to say blocked. I'm not ready to walk down that path. And I
And
share
you
that.
don't have to be. I wish I could hold your hand right now. Um, I think it's so beautiful what you just said, and thank you for sharing your emotions with myself and everybody watching, because this is what it really means to be honest in our creating, honest in our living what we really writing down there. I'm writing about those things so much, and then I always feel responsible if I'm saying something. I should live it myself, because
Yeah,
it's easy to write like nice quotable things, but then you have to stand up for it and be it. Like my recent release, like, I'm choosing love above all.
I love that song, by the way. If
So
anybody if anybody doesn't know, Zoe, her name is her Substack. If you look on her YouTube, you can find her recent song called "Love Above All," and
but
it's beautiful.
the funny thing is, in a song like this, I write it and you feel like this is like a happy groove, but every sentence is there.
No, it's
I mean it. It's for
yeah.
me. It's always about the lyrics, and I mean it. Like, everything is a choice. So the choice that you just explained, like, why you feel like you can't, or you don't want, you could, but you don't want to walk down this road right now, is you being responsible, you living. what you're actually putting out there, because I am wide awake reading what you post.
Mhm.
And I love to meet the person that really is standing the ground of the words behind it, because the too many don't.
Yeah,
Honestly speaking, I think
that's unauthentic, and that's really not somebody that I'm willing to be. So when I realized that I can't pretend to like I'm still living life quakes. I'm still going through life quakes. I haven't I mean I there's little rebirths that happen in between them, but I'm getting hit with more life quakes than the rebirth right now. And so it's hard for me to write something that I know that I'm not 100% living, and it just it feels like scuzzy to me. Like I can't do that. And you know, there's a lot of people that love to reap benefits of sharing, like, oh, this is the healed language that you must use, and blah blah blah
no,
blah.
no, no.
Right? And and they might not have even scratched the surface of their own trauma. That's not me. I appreciate the space. I appreciate the authenticity of it. I appreciate the humans that are a part of it. And like, to your point, is I write things because that holds me accountable to myself.
Yes,
And it would feel very wrong to write something as if I'm this healed, successful human, when the reality is like I'm just as lost as probably 80 to 90% of the fucking world. Because I think
yeah.
we're all, you know, always just trying to at the end of the day survive in the areas that we're in. And yeah, I just needed I just need time to be able to process maybe that version or that situation with with myself, like, without it being so public. And I appreciate the people that continue to hang around even though I haven't really been, you know, active. I mean, that means a lot to me. But I only got one question, and I'm not going to continue to try to cry this whole way, but I did want to ask you something.
All right.
Uh, do you think songs arrive, or do you think we built them?
Songs.
Yep, music. Because I haven't asked you anything about your music, and I wanted to spend some time about your music as well, because it's a powerful place. Because like you said, uh,
Yeah.
humans connect to music in all different genres in all different ways, and it's whether it's the beat and how they feel, like how the beat makes them feel, or the lyrics and the story that it's sharing. Like, I just feel like music has always been relevant to the human world. And you know, yours is very special in the way that you share it and what you choose to, you know, communicate about. And you know, I wondered how do those things happen for you? Do you just one day wake up and you're like, oh, this is the song, or is it something that's built over time based off of lived experience?
This is really a funny question, because actually there are two ways that it happens to me. One, it is just like you said. I wake up and I have the song coming through me. I couldn't even tell you where they come from. Some songs they really write themselves, and I just hurry up to follow what I feel is there. What I notice on my journey analyzing or trying to understand myself better really is that, of course, I've been thinking about things before. I'm, you know, constantly juggling words in my mind, melodies, you know. So this is the inner process that is happening. But then sometimes it's like really eruptive, it's just there. And I'm rushing to sit on my piano, because this is where I write. Um, Following the chords, because the melody is already there, so I'm singing the melody, my fingers trying to follow, and I'm always like upset because I'm not fast enough. I wish I was faster. And then and it's there. Some songs just like really in one, you know, energy stream. And I have the feeling those, for me, I mean, this is a very pleasant experience, right? It's so exciting because I really feel I'm just the vessel of something flowing through me. You know, the connection is good. I feel like I am well connected to the source of me even being able to be a creator. And
Right.
then there are songs that appear and I make them. Like you say, it's more like I make them because I really have something on my mind. I have one song. It's called a better a better place, and I wrote it triggered by a huge protest march that happened here in Munich, actually all over Germany, against those right wing people, fascists, and whatever. And it was a huge protest march. Everybody asked me the day before, oh, so you're coming up? Sure, I'm going to see you tomorrow. And I said, I'm not going. I can't go. I've been on so many marches. I've been protesting all my life. I've been defending myself so many times, myself, my children, my friends. I couldn't. I couldn't. What I needed in the moment, I needed to see on national television my city marching for someone like me. Obviously, not a German person, obviously, not belonging there. And this is what I needed to see. And it was such a strong feeling I had in the moment. I couldn't even leave my house because I was so tense. And I sat down at the piano, and then everything came out. So this was really something I wrote with a like fully conscious about that I am going to write this what I had to say. And I wrote this. The chorus says, you make this world a better place for me, a better place to be, because people showing up. So this was basically me saying thank you for
Okay.
people showing up, for making choices, for being there, for not even making a big issue about them being protesting, but just, you know, being a normal ally for, for people of all diversities, people with different backgrounds, or physically different, maybe because, not everybody's like super fit, of all, like, whatever, like really diverse reasons, but for
Yeah.
just being human, really human. So I had to write this. It's one of those songs that I wrote me knowing where I want to go, what I have to say. No other concept than a strong feeling. And of course, there are songs that it's just like, when I'm stuck, I know what to do because I am a writer. I'm doing this for a very long time. I wrote so much music. I'm constantly doing it. So if I get stuck, I would know what to fill in. For example, I'm always trying to avoid this because I think, okay, when you don't feel it in the moment, just leave it and then revisit the tune when you're in the mood, so it comes naturally, and I don't just rhyme, because if you just rhyme, it starts to be empty.
No,
This could
I
be fun if you want to be like rhyming.
unless I mean, I feel like rhymes are cool for raps, but I
Super cool, super
it's
cool, and I,
it's
I
okay.
love that.
Yeah, like, I think it's always like a rap song. I think, "Oh, wow, how they were able to connect this sentence with this, and it rhymed too, like, that's genius." But then I do feel like in some type of like, non-rap music, it could be a little, like, I don't wanna say cheesy, but not it doesn't have the same effect, maybe?
It is really is cheesy because sometimes you just find rhyme, and you don't even find the best. You just find the first one that comes to your mind,
Yeah, that
and
goes to that word, yeah.
and that is totally okay. I think that's okay, and people have different ways of how they like their things. For myself, I know, in the end, it's me standing there on a whatever kind of stage, small or big. Now it's going to be big stages, like festival stages. This is a lot of people. This is between 10,000 and more people in front of your stage. I don't want to be standing up there singing some, excuse my words, shitty rhyme that I just came up because I was too lazy to put myself to work and find a better rhyme.
Yeah.
So, I have to,
You
I
have your
can
own
cut.
standards for your own self, but if you needed to fake it till you make it, you've learned how to do that too. And
Yes.
I think that's again that's just a part of human survival. Is a lot of us can probably fake things until we make it, um,
And it's
in
fun. I think
different
that's cool.
areas.
And I
Yeah,
think that's cool. Like we in reggae music, you have a thing that is like you have like a short competition. You have this in rap music too. that someone is picking up something and have some bars, and you already have the mic as and you're the next in line. So while someone is putting out things, you
Right.
have to come up with your own take on the same subject, and you want to be fast and you want to be good. So in this kind of competition, it's a skill. If you can rhyme fast, and if you can find like pick up a melody fast, find something catchy, this is super cool. It's
I I'm always blown away by, like, rap battles. I'm like, "Wait, how did you come up with that quickly?"
so cool, isn't it?
Yeah, those are brains that process things differently than mine, and I can respect and appreciate it. But back to what you were talking about, creating this song inspired by a movement, right? By actions of strangers who felt compelled to show up for humans, right? I was watching a video of this woman who didn't really understand like the they them situation and somebody who she respected kind of brought a different perspective, and it's just like, if you could do something to make somebody else happy, why wouldn't you do it? And like that's to me like that's literally just the epitome of being a good human, is like, even if you don't understand it, like if this makes this person happy, why not just do it? Why wouldn't you want to be a vessel that brings, or shows joy to, like, brings joy to somebody by just respecting what makes them happy? So I think to your point of people showing up and marching even if they're not the others, and being allies and supporting just humans is a way of trying to bring joy and show support to people that maybe don't feel supported. And I've always been super. I don't think like as a kid or a teenager thought like, oh, I'm cool because I'm from New York. But I think as I got into my 20s and I moved to Florida and everything, and getting that like different perspective, and then coming back here, I think I have so much pride about myself from being from New York, because I love the fact that diversity runs wild here. I love the fact that I can have authentic Greek, Indian, Spanish, Mexican, Polish, anything and everything is here, and the people behind that are authentically those cultures, and they're trying to bring a piece of where they're from
Exactly.
here. And I think it's a very special place to have the privilege to grow up in, and I think the world may have its own perspectives on it, but that alone, like, I watched a video of a guy like who was like so happy that children get to grow up in New York and be surrounded by people speaking Chinese and Spanish and Greek and Italian and Polish and German and anything. Like, they get that exposure because that's not how every place is. And I love the idea of knowing that I live in a space where diversity really rules the areas, and people, yeah, I'm
It's
sure
lived. It's
yeah,
lived, and you
yeah,
can feel it. I spent a lot of time in New York, and what I really loved is it does not feel special. It feels this is normal. It's normal, right? I had a conversation with two friends yesterday, both been living in New York, working there, and they said, "Well, we're always comparing New York to Berlin and Paris or London," and I would say, the difference is this: when you're in Berlin, right, you see maybe an Indian person or a black person, and you would never think, okay, this must be a doctor or maybe a lawyer, because here this is the exception. So people of different skin complexion or visible immigrational background are always considered being someone with a problematic kind of lifestyle or surrounding. Let's be like very mild here, right?
yeah,
I've been to London last year for recordings. I was walking through London and I thought the most beautiful thing is when I'm here in the subway, um, all the beautiful, like super well dressed business girls are Indian, and you can see that, but this is the norm. And you see the Jewish person, with full locks and everything. You see, of course, black people, Asian, like from everybody, and it's normal. I don't have to think, oh, I need to search for a black lawyer if I need a lawyer, because I can just like find plenty. It's normal,
Mm.
Here we do have, and I'm living in Germany, Munich, Germany. We are organized, like there's organized black women chat groups, and we have exchanges of things like, oh, do you know a dermatologist who could deal with black people's skin
And
issues?
yeah.
Or you have no idea. I don't have nobody in the whole town of Munich. Munich isn't huge, but it's still 1.5, little more than 1.5 million people. I have nobody to do my hair.
I was gonna ask you, it's like how many know how to take care of locks?
Nobody.
Yeah.
There's like, you have like maybe like 4 Afro stores, but those they, like we're connected to Africa. So they don't want you to have locks. They want you to like, braid your hair, and locks are not considered to be whatever. So it's difficult. I don't have nobody. Or even, I remember when I started wanting to use makeup, I could not find makeup for my beautiful brown
Yeah.
skin because there wasn't any. It did not exist. And still, whenever I have a photo shooting or we're filming or stuff, I bring my own makeup kit because the chance is
They
pretty
have,
high
yeah.
that you end up like someone like putting something on your face and you're like all gray, and those kind of things.
But I think
It's
this is
bizarre. So
but I think that this is things that like people don't think about. Like if it's not directly affecting somebody, I don't think people are thinking about. So that's why I said there's a at this point in my life, there's a bit of a pride to be a part of a state that moves in a way that it moves, and that seems very inclusive and diverse on purpose. Like we
on
welcome
purpose, yes.
welcome all, appreciate all, respect all. So
We
I
just have to get rid of some elements that you have to deal with there right now. We're not going to go deeper into this, but we
no,
will talk
I
about
don't
it.
really like politics, but I'll just say I love my mayor, and at this
I
point,
love him too.
as long as he's doing what he's doing and it's not being affected by the man in the White House, then I can't really, let
No,
him
we're not going
just
to talk about it
right.
because
Let
that's
him just
people.
keep
Yeah.
doing what he's doing, because I do believe that. I'll just say this. I watched a video the other day that a guy was like, he's from New York, and he's like, you either want to be poor in New York or rich. You don't want to be middle class, because middle class gets nothing. You don't make enough to actually survive, but you make too much to actually get any assistance. And that's really where I've been my whole life in the city and my family. So I can understand that. But when I lost my job and I'm not showing any income right now, I do have healthcare that I don't pay for, that I'm grateful for. I do take advantage of SNAP benefits that pays for all of my food every month. Like I also need those things right now. But I'm not I'm not somebody that has like this pride about myself, like, oh no, like I've been in this system for fucking ever, and this is the first time that I actually am getting something from what I've paid into. So it is an unfair reality, and I do love seeing the way that my mayor is working for working Americans in his city. And I look forward to continue to see what he does. But before we end this, I have one final question. Even though I had like 20 of them, but well, actually, one final question. Do you think healing changes creativity? Like, does art change when suffering isn't steering the wheel anymore?
This is an amazing question. And I think, I mean, this is a thought I had many times, and I can break it down to the easy part. Is it easier for you to write when you're feeling happy, when everything's good, or is it easier when you're feeling sad and something like, working inside of you? And I've been asking these questions in my community, and most people respond that it's easier when they're sad.
Mm.
And I thought about this so much for myself, how it is for me. And I am telling you, mm, the more I do it, the less I depend on the this kind of inspiration I'm getting from suffering. Because I don't, you know, one of the quotes I hate the most, I really have to say I hate, I don't use this word often, but I hate it. It's like pressure makes diamonds. Because this would mean that actually only if it's hard, if it's really hard, you know, you squeeze there and everything, you know, this is when something really great comes out. And I don't believe that. I just saw you cry because you've been going through so much. If you would have had people around you that would have seen you and just loved you the way you are, or, you know, supported and protected you in a different way, I don't think you would be less of this beautiful shining soul that I am meeting here right now. You just maybe had a less stressful time reaching there. So I always try to not depend on me being heartbroken, me being depressed, me being whatever, to and use this as triggers to create, because it also paints my creation in a way that I can choose, and I want to be able to choose. I'm an Aquarian. I want to be free. You know, freedom is important, and even when I'm creating, I want to be free. I want to have a choice. I am not letting um, only what happens dictate me what I'm going to write. Of course, it does influence me because I'm writing from my soul, from my heart. So if, you know, I'm processing in my art, but I actually really focus on also writing when I'm positive. What I feel is mm, it's far more difficult to not sound cheesy when you write something happy, because we
Mhm.
just say happy or I feel joy, but then you have to find other words describe what kind of happiness, what kind of happy is it. Do you feel happy like a child jumping up and down, or you feel happy like you want to scream and dance on the rooftop, or you have this kind of grateful happiness, you know, that is more still, you're just like happy inside of you. It's nothing loud, it's something that you really keep for yourself. Or you have this peaceful kind of happiness when you're waking up feeling grateful in the morning and it's just a beautiful day. So, and we just say happy, flat, straight out. It's difficult to um, describe beautiful feelings. When it comes to love songs, it's different,
Mm.
you know, because love always opens up this, that we can speak all the flower words and the moon and the sun and the stars in your eyes, you know, all those things. It's easy when we're there, but just to describe a joyful feeling of being content, feeling well, that's difficult to not sound boring. So it's always easier to write something that feels deep because it's easy to read. You know, if it, I can easily paint a picture for you that you would understand my sadness, my grief. You
Right.
know, it's easier to relate. If I have to tell you how wonderful I feel, I have to be more creative. So for me, if someone can write something um, really joyful, beautiful, and happy without being completely cheesy and tacky, wow, I wow. And I try to learn to be as versatile in both as possible. And in general, I think in my music, I'm searching for a balance, also for myself as a person. Healing for me is not I'm happy or fine, or, you know, like somewhere. I want to be balanced, like in the middle. That's okay. I think the duality of all is essential. I can value the light more because I really know the darkness. Depression is like a part of my life. It's always going to be there. I know I will have to face it. The last heavy episode I had was almost 4 years. That was a heavy time. So whenever I'm not there, it's a celebration. You know, every day that I know I have that, I can, you know, I celebrate this. I'm super grateful. So I can, I really appreciate the light when I see it. And when I feel it, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Even if I'm having a shitty day, I still know I'm not there in the dark hole where So mm, the healing, yes, it does affect the music, and I hope it does affect it in the most um, uplifting way that it helps me heal.
Mm. Yeah, when I like read the question, I'm just like, do you think healing changes creativity? And I feel like I don't see how it does it. Like I don't see how it does it because I think all humans, if they take the road of navigating a healing journey of one thing, right? Because I do think that we heal throughout our life. We Things come up that we become more self-aware about, that we, challenge ourselves to depending on what your journey is. But, if I go down one healing journey for one reason and I come out of that, I'd like to think that I'd come out of that differently. And I like to think that that perspective would look different. And I like to think that whatever I'm creating would probably look different because I think I am different. And not in the sense of like full change or whatever, but like my perspective has shifted. And maybe I do see things, like to your point, in a more positive way because I've been in dark spaces, or even how you said earlier, lived experiences go a long way. You can't help, like, if I've never been an addict, I can't help addicts. Like I don't know,
Yes,
but I unfortunately have that experience, so I do feel like I can connect with people. And I always say that addiction starts with mental health, and I think that some people really struggle with being able to feel what they feel and think what they think, and it's easier to choose something else to distract from it. But it all eventually still continues to come up and find you. So I do think that if you have lived through something, you do have something to offer somebody else who may be living through it or may not even know that 5 years from now they're going to go through the same thing. But now that they've been able to connect with you, they have a little bit more resources to kind of go through it. So yeah, I think healing changes a lot of things, and not for negative or positive reasons, just in general. Like I think it's definitely a way that could be impactful in a more, I would like to think, a more positive way. But you know, we're all on our own little journey, and I definitely am aware that I will never sit in front of anybody and say I'm healed.
I
That
don't
will
think
never
that
come
would
out of my
happen.
mouth.
We can heal, like if you have a fracture, this could heal. If I break my finger, it takes time to heal, and then it's healed. Physically
From what it
healed.
was, but it's never what it from the break, but
Exactly.
it's never what it was.
And also, what we don't consider is healed is I would still have to deal with me um, having had a broken finger and how I lived my time when I couldn't use it. So the healing is so complex, and I don't think healing is something that ends somewhere. Healing is a constant process where we're growing, we're healing. Maybe we're going back. Sometimes we just go backwards, and the same wound is reopened, probably because we had to revisit certain things inside of ourselves, and then the journey of processing it and growing out of it or into it is a different one. Maybe we have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. I've been going to things a lot, like the same things. I'm telling you, it took me years, and I really had a career already and stuff. It took me years to be mhm, feeling completely sure and secure inside myself, saying I am an artist, because it was labeled with so many different things from the outside, opinions of people, the family, my parents, um, the money that was coming in or not coming in, but it was a lot coming in, but it didn't even help me, to make me feel confident in saying this, because I was like, I found myself explaining, oh, well, I'm doing this and that, and I almost excuse myself for being who I am. So it took me forever to be there. Now I'm here saying, well, I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I'm a writer, I can even say now I write poetry. actually, because I'm going there, I got invited to read on a beautiful art exhibition one of my poems a year ago. You know, I would never have thought that I would ever do this. I never thought I would do this. Now I've wrote the longest poem. It's about 4 minutes. People would have to be silent for such a long time, you know. And it's also very sad and intense and everything. But I'm looking forward. I'm going to do this. So I had to revisit this insecure me that was there going through so much and playing piano since I'm 4 years old. All the stages I went through, phases I faced, um, to the point that I got a huge record deal and all those kind of things. It did not help me to feel the way I feel about everything now. I had to go back and whoops again and return to beginning again, like in one of those games that you play and you always get sent back. You know,
Yes.
it really felt like a constant loop. Now finally I feel like, okay, thank you, this loop, I don't have to go to this point again. It's like I'm my maybe now I'm coming back to where I am right now. Next time I get sent back, but not all the way back again. Hopefully, I mean, I hopefully, really, please. I don't want to be there again because it's awful. But yeah, we never heal, but it's beautiful to connect, um, on the way to healing. And it helps me so much to talk to someone like you, because we share a lot. When I look at you, I see like your skin complexion is different from others. People will probably guess where you're coming from. The heritage. It's like it's not just clear, easy to know.
I don't know. I think I'm Puerto Rican and Italian. And I think people can tell either or. Maybe they might not think both, but I think they would think something like one or the
But
other.
they
Yeah,
think. So there is a guessing. There
maybe,
is a guessing, and
maybe.
guessing is already the thing. I wanted to tell you one thing that changed a lot for me since we met the first time. Because I remember I asked you for your name,
Yeah, I wouldn't tell you.
and you didn't. Yeah, and it was totally fine for me because I fully respect people's space. And it's not so long ago that you made this post about your name, so now it's out there. So I think you've changed a lot as well. And
Yeah,
I met you, and that is just half a year ago.
yeah. I mean, I think there's definitely been a lot of evolution over time. But yes, I went by out of my damn mind for a long time on this platform, and I eventually shared that my name is Marlena, and I have a lot of like things with my names because nobody knows how to say it because the way that my mom chose to spell it. So and that was like why I was like, I don't really want to. But I think I finally come to terms, and then there's moments and days where people still say it wrong, and I'm just like, whatever. And then there's other days where I'm like, no, I'm going to correct them because it's important to me, And I don't think it's being disrespectful. It's just my name's Marlena, and if you want to call me by that, then you can. But out of my damn mind works too. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I think changed in my last 6 7 months since we've talked. um and I wish I could say like I have clarity of stuff, but like to your point, I think there are 6 months loops, I think there are year loops, I think there are 5 year loops, I think there are 8 year loops, I think there are 10 year loops, I think there are continuous loops that sometimes take time to really understand the meaning of it. And I think depending what people believe in, I'm not here to speculate. Whether it's your god, the universe, whatever it is, I'm a more spiritual person, so I do feel like the universe constantly puts things in my paths to help me continue to understand what I need to focus on. And like I said, I am being constantly tested on my patience, and I get upset with myself because it's just like, why do I let impatience rule my world? Because it's so what what is it? And I think it's just a deep ingrained situation for me. But I am very grateful for the space, for the connection. um I didn't know it was pronounced like that. I need to go hide in a cave now. You're okay because I didn't know how to say your name either, so it's
It's
completely
it's
fine.
it's Zoe. It's
No,
Zoe.
Not you.
Zoe.
I know your name. I'm talking about there's a comment. But yes, Zoe, Marlena, but there was a comment they were like I didn't know how to pronounce my name. But it's again it's my
It's
mom
very
chose.
difficult. And you know what I do? I'm always asking people. I just ask you. Sometimes I don't know. I
Well,
really
that,
don't know.
well
And
to your point, I think I've called you Zoe because it's just because I don't add the like because there's no Y, so I don't add the E. But to your point, I think I've called you Zoe. So yeah,
yeah,
Zoe.
but that for me that's okay because I have friends that even call me Zozo. You know, that's like a nickname. They call me Zozo, so that's cool. But it's Zoe. It's like my mom will call me Zoe, and my friends call me Zoe, and it's yeah, it's my band calls me Zoezinha because they're speaking Portuguese, so that is me like little Zoe. But yeah, it's Zoe. But for me, you say Zoe, but I didn't even notice there's something wrong because I do have friends that call me Zozo, so for me that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know why I think I just always gone Zoe, but yeah, I we also anybody who hasn't gone to Urban Dictionary and put your name in there, you should do that today because it'll definitely brighten your day.
Please
Because
do that. It's so much fun. I just did it in the afternoon because you tagged me there and I did it. I was laughing badly. It's so
I
much
was
fun.
like this might be a very great accuracy to you, and I absolutely adored it. It was great. So yeah, I highly recommend if type your name in Urban Dictionary, see what it means. But yeah, I I think that if we connected again at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, whatever, I think we both will be different. I think if we connected 3 weeks from now, we'd be different. You know, I think we're always evolving and changing. And I think our lives are always presenting us with opportunities to do that. And, you know, some of us don't, and that's okay, you know, to each his own. But to the ones that really take the time to spend in spaces that are uncomfortable and to challenge yourselves to think about something differently. You know, I had a whole mental breakdown on this, and Zoe has been very open about her own depression. I think it's pretty natural for people to sometimes mentally struggle, and I don't think that there's always places for people to feel safe enough to talk about it. So that's why we're here. That's why I have the inner room. That's why, you know, my DMs are always open for anybody. Um, and I enjoy always making connections with people that are not afraid to talk about their challenges because that's what helps the next person. I have said it often in a lot of my lives that when I leave a room, I leave the light on for the next person. So I think that's all about what I'm trying to do here. And I think that's what you do with your music is you continue to highlight ways to help other people feel seen, heard, and felt. And I always appreciate time with you, my friend. So I
I
don't.
thank you. I wrote a song, "Leave a Light On."
Did you?
I yeah, it makes me like cry that you just said this. It's "Leave a Light On," and it just means exactly. It's exactly about what you just said, and I'm super grateful for you having me again. Um,
Well,
yes.
I'm gonna do better at same day. Like this replay will be available later today for like in an hour or two. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some show notes. So I'm gonna attach Mia and Zoe's YouTube channel into the replay. Maybe I'll add a song or two of Zoe's. Leave the light on seems to be one that I probably should add. Um, but yeah, we appreciate anybody who spends time with us, and we hope to continue to shed
Yeah.
light on things that are important and continue to show that humanity always rules. And you know, what is it, Zoe? Love above all.
Love above all.
Do you want to sing just the chorus to sign us off, or is that too much
Oh, I
pressure?
can, of course. I'm choosing love above all. I'm choosing love above all. One love.
I adore you. Thank you so much for being with me.
I thank
Uh,
you so much.
Thank you for everybody who had decided to join us live today. Like I said, the replay would be in a few. But with that being said, you've been in the inner room, where conversations go deep, the connections surprise, and the truth lingers long after the world quiets down. Until next time, keep listening inward because that's where the stories that shape us really live. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.